High atop the Silver City Ballroom in downtown Meriden, it's Dirty Laundry. I'm Joey Clifton.
And meatball.
Olympus Diner is our sponsor this week.
And they're very delicious. And they're not really a diner.
No, I don't know if they're a diner or not, but they have Chowder Fridays, and I feel bad even advertising it because it's like our little secret. But the New England clam chowder every Friday is just out of this world.
You got to go after lunch, though, because the lunch crowd is crazy.
Yeah, East Main Street, Meriden, Olympus Diner. I think they should change their name.
To what?
I don't know. I think of a diner. I think of Greek food. I think of like that really big menu. I think of 24 hours open, and they're really not. They're like a family restaurant.
Yes. They're not open 24 hours either.
No, the owner is really nice. She for some reason every Friday we've been going. She's been waitressing on us, and then our favorite waiter comes in. And I feel horrible. I don't know his name.
Was it Chris or maybe David?
Maybe. He's very talkative, and we always have really good conversation with him. And now we're to the point where they just bring out a whole bunch of bowls of clam chowder for us, and it's like literally overflowing.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a sponsor of Dirty Laundry, email us at dirtylaundryct@gmail.com, or you can message us on Facebook. Big shout out to Olympus Diner, East Main Street, Chowder Fridays. Really good burgers, too.
Thank you for the good food.
They have that stuffed pesto burger.
Mm-hmm.
They have the, I think it's the New York burger that has all of the pastrami on it.
Yeah.
And they have really good burgers.
And good selection of burgers.
Yeah. So make sure you check out Olympus Diner on East Main Street in Meriden. Speaking of food, Wendy's has fish. Kimberly Santiago, she put it out there, our Wendy's girl. They said they gave it early because everybody in Meriden was asking for it.
Meriden loves their fish.
Limited time only. Wendy's has fish. And let's just keep going with the food because we got a lot to get to. I know we haven't been doing it every week like we should be doing, so we got to get caught up. Restaurant reviews. 2 brand new restaurants in Meriden. Businesses moving in to Meriden.
East side of Meriden.
East side of Meriden. Not the west side, but the east side. Titanic. Let's start with them.
It's located in the old Tip Top, I believe, Tip Top sandwich shop.
And then it was Pizza Wizard.
It was Pizza Wizard before Tip Top.
Across from McDonald's on East Main Street. Titanic, its own standalone building.
Yeah, the little white building. You guys know where it is.
I gotta say, the best thing about that place is the Tom Kha soup, the coconut soup.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love. And depending on what place you go to, they make it a little bit different. I personally like it with the tofu in it, but you could get it with shrimp. You could get it with everything. And I actually got it to go because they really only have. It's not really a sit-down restaurant. No. Titanic. It's more of a takeout. They only have like 2 little small tables in there. You certainly could go there and eat lunch, but there's only 2 tables, so it's more of a takeout place. They plan on doing delivery in the future once they build up business, and I think that'll be huge because there's no Thai places that deliver in Meriden. They're all in Wallingford, and they won't come here.
Yeah, I think that when the weather is better, they have that picnic table up front too.
Yeah, they have a little bit outside, but check out Titanic. They just opened this past week, and then I gotta say my favorite one is Asian Invasion.
That's a new one that opened this weekend, no?
Yeah, that's over by remember where Kukamakara. Kukamakara.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Well, I always say cockroach, but it wasn't. The Mexican place that was over on, it's actually just about across the street from the new Taianos and where Huxley's is going to be going. And I mean, the Mexican place was great, and I feel horrible that they're not there anymore. But now there is Asian Invasion.
Yeah.
And they didn't really do anything to the place. It looks the same as when it was the Mexican place, but
well, it's clean and nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was clean and nice before, so they didn't really have to do anything to it. And let me tell you, for lunch, we spent what, $8.95 a person?
Yes.
And I had shrimp pad thai, a full meal of it, the same portion you'd have for dinner. They gave us the salad with the peanut sauce, which is awesome. And then she came out with the dessert, the tapioca dessert, which was excellent at the end.
What would you call it? It was like a tapioca melted ice cream.
It was warm tapioca soup kind of thingy.
Yeah, it was good.
It's almost like the bubble teas, but it's the really tiny tapiocas. It was really good.
Baby tapiocas.
For $8.95, you can't go wrong. They're going to do excellent there. And you know what? We just went yesterday, and they were packed for lunch.
And the big thing is you can go and sit down.
Yeah, that's my new go-to lunch place is Asian Invasion over on East Main Street.
But it's so good. I feel like it's gonna be packed with people.
Yeah,
You gotta go wait a little bit before lunch or maybe after lunch.
and they actually deliver already.
Mm-hmm.
They deliver, and you can pick up or you could eat there. So they're gonna do really good. I'm pretty sure.
And you can watch your food being cooked, kind of thing. So if you're one of those people,
You notice the East Side is like
booming.
Well, you know how like obviously South Meriden is kind of its own thing. The West Side is kind of got its own identity. The East Side is really starting to.
It's like a new developing thing.
Yeah, I mean when Huxley's moves across now, Huxley's is I gotta say my favorite place for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the environment. It's the piano player. It's all the books. I mean they're way cheaper than going to IHOP, and the food is better.
Yeah.
And when they move across the street, it's going to be really nice. I'm not sure what's taking so long, but I mean, because that building, I think they built it at the same time as Tayano's.
That building looks huge, though.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks huge. Tayano's still waiting.
Yeah. They had like a soft opening of some sorts.
Yeah, they had like a Sweet 16 or something, and it was a soft opening, but who knows? We know it's going to happen eventually, and I'm sure the grand opening is going to be pretty packed because people can't wait for it. But have you ever eaten at the one in Middletown?
No, I have not.
Me neither. But when we were at Asian Invasion, we met a couple there, and they were talking about the Tayano's in Middletown, and it's something really cool. They said that they don't like to leave any food left over for the next day. So at the end of the night, if you follow them on Facebook, they post what food they have left over. So I'm assuming like if they have ribs, if they have steak, if they have a certain amount of hamburgers all left over, they put it all out there and they leave it open for people to bid on it. You bid on it, and then you go there that night and pick it up, and I guess you could eat all week.
I wish I lived closer so I could actually do it and go through the whole experience.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a really cool idea. So
It is. But of course, I noticed on the MT, people are already complaining about Tiano's and it didn't even open yet.
Well, people are going to complain about anything, and they do.
It's the same people that's like, oh, we need more business, but they're the first one to complain about a restaurant that has not opened yet.
Yeah, but we don't care about those people, do we?
No,
we don't care at all. Another new business that just opened on the north side, Show Love Sports Bar.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that used to be where the
Red Room
used to be. From the pictures in the Record Journal, didn't really look like they did anything different, but they really just showed the one woman behind the bar, and the bar looked the same. Like, they didn't rip the bar out. It had, like, that nice round bar.
Yeah.
So, who knows? It's kind of a weird name. I tend to think, like, the sign when you drive by, it's a really cool-looking sign, and it's a cool name, but just makes me think strip club.
Do they have a parking lot over there?
No.
It's street parking and maybe across the street in that big factory?
I don't know, but I mean, it's definitely street parking, but I don't know. It just reminds me of a strip club. Like, what an awesome name for a strip club, Show Love. You know?
Yeah. I don't think those are allowed in the city.
No. I think there's only 2 locations, from what I understand, where you could put a strip club in Meriden, because they all got to be like 1,000 feet from a church, from a school, from a, an academy or whatever. And those 2 locations, from what I understand, they won't tell you where those 2 locations are.
They're top secret.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's Berlin Turnpike. I mean, where else would you put a strip club?
That's where one was, I believe.
Yeah, there were a couple bouncing around.
Yeah.
The mailbox mystery has gotten solved.
Yeah, about time.
Yeah, all the mailboxes got taken down at Stop and Shop and at the post office.
Speculations were crazy.
Oh, people posting like, where am I going to mail my mail?
Nowhere.
You can get out of your car, you lazy person, and go mail your mail inside.
Or you can go to the end of your driveway and put it in your mailbox.
Well, some people don't have that. If you have the slot in your door, you don't have a mailbox to put the flag up.
People still have slots?
Yeah, sure. There's plenty of people. But I think I did hear that if you did have a slot, you couldn't just like lean the mail outside on your door and the mailman will take it.
I'm sure.
I don't know. I'm not too experienced with the mail service, but
that's Meriden people. They like to find problems when there is no problems.
Yes. So I guess the whole problem with the mailboxes was they caught some people. I think they were out of Fairfield that were there were certain towns that got hit. where they were just breaking into the mailboxes and stealing all the mail. And it's really weird because you can't break into a mailbox.
I think you're about to reveal some information that was not on the newspapers.
Well, you gotta actually have the key to open it. It's not like you could pry open a mailbox.
No, I seen a car hit a mailbox, and those things don't move, and they don't even dent or anything.
No, it's like hitting a deer.
Yeah.
So I guess they hit up certain towns. Fairfield got hit. I think Bridgeport, Meriden. It made no rhyme or reason to who got hit or why, but
correct.
I guess they took them away. Who knows if they'll ever be back again?
How did they get hit, though? If you can't break into them.
Well, because they must have had a key.
Oh, yeah?
Inside job. St. Patty's Day. Lots of stuff going on about the St. Patty's Day parade.
Or the lack of.
Well, apparently, is it the AOH that's raising money for that raises money for it? Who's raising money for it? Who pays for it?
I think it was AOH.
Okay.
At least they played a big role in it.
Yeah, but I guess they're $5,000 short. Mm-hmm. And this just came out like maybe I first heard of it like maybe 2 weeks ago. It was going around on Facebook. They were trying to raise funds for it, and then I think it finally hit the newspaper yesterday. And reading all the comments about it, it's like I don't know.
But let's first, where are the expenses associated with the parade? Is it the police?
Well, you need a permit, which I guess, is probably minimal.
But if it's a city event, then do you really need the city to pay for its own permit?
No, you got to pay for the police officers and security. You got to, you got to have the cops doing overtime, closing down the streets. And
that's any event, yeah.
I mean, I think that's it. Do they pay for the green paint that they paint down the middle of the street? I guess somebody's got to get paid for that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a... Who knows? Who are we to say it's a big cost or not? It doesn't seem like it would be a big cost because really all you're paying for is the police to close down the streets and you're paying their overtime, which could get expensive, especially because that's a fairly long parade route, So either way, they're trying to raise money for it. They're short $5,000. And in my eyes, go to Bank of America, get it sponsored. Go to Seatown. Go to a big corporation, McDonald's, somebody else. But all the talk on Meriden Talks is, it benefits the downtown businesses so much. Let them pay for it.
What businesses?
Well, not only what businesses, but how does it benefit the downtown businesses? Now, down in Jersey, where I grew up, in Seaside, like you ever watch MTV, the Jersey Shore? That's my town. That's where I started.
Oh, yeah?
I started doing lighting and emceeing in the nightclubs on the boulevard in Seaside. And the Seaside Parade was incredible because it started at 9 in the morning. It went until 4 in the afternoon. But you had about 15 bars and nightclubs along a quarter-mile stretch.
But I feel like it's not a fair comparison because it's Meriden to Seaside.
Well, no. What I'm saying is those businesses all opened early. So people went in the clubs. They got drunk or whatever. They came out. They watched the parade. They go back in again.
They clearly benefited.
It was an all-day event, and the clubs and the bars benefited greatly by it.
Yeah.
Meriden, no. I mean, let's face it. The people that go to the parade in Meriden, it's a family event. They're bringing all their kids and all their friends and stuff, okay? If they're bringing anything, they're bringing their own drinks and their own food.
It's a short event, so it doesn't really require that lunch or that dinner.
No. It's a very small event, and I posted it on Meriden Talks earlier today. For the last 3 years, the corner of Main Street and Colony, there's literally 20, maybe 30 people standing. I'm usually one of only 5 people that are standing on the corner. Like, literally, there is nobody watching this parade from the center of downtown. Now, that being said, West Side, a lot more people.
Right.
And I believe that's where the biggest crowds are on the West Side. East Side, not so much. Downtown, definitely not much at all. So when you talk about having downtown businesses pay for a parade because they're going to benefit from it, how do I benefit from it?
But there's no rhyme and reason. Meriden, or at least what we see through the Facebook, is always going to complain. Is it the fireworks, some kind of parade, something? It's always get this business to pay for it.
Yeah, the businesses are not benefiting from the parade.
Or fireworks.
Now, if the parade went down Colony Street, and you had Bar 105 open, and you had the Silver City Ballroom open, and all the places that have liquor, then I would say, you know what? Okay, there's an opportunity there.
Right.
But it doesn't go down Colony. It goes down Main Street. So, I don't know. good luck to the AOH. I hope they raise the money because it is a good family event. And a couple people had some good things and said, you know what, make it go the other way. Make it go from the west side where all the people are and have it end at the green and do some festivities down there.
That's a good idea.
You know, you have a whole day event, you know, at the green or something, but then you're talking more money and more permits and more security. So,
but that's what the green was supposed to be about. It's about bringing the community together, celebrating events, and you know, just bringing everyone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, good luck to them, and.
But it always happens like that. We're always short. We're always crying about it. It ends up happening, and we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell.
Yale Acres. Have you seen? You know where Yale Acres is?
Yeah.
How do you explain where that is? Because that's a kind of strange area.
It's Broad Street, 691 corner over there. That's
okay, so just in between 691 on Broad Street and where Tacos Mi Nachos is.
Towards east side,
right?
though.
So if you're from Tacos Mi Nachos, you're going north on Broad towards 691, just past the firehouse. Over there, you make a right, and it's in that neighborhood back there, right?
It's more closer when you get to the 691 entrance. There's that little side street over there that always gets blocked by the light.
Right.
You take a right, that's your
right. So there's like 5 or 6 buildings back there. So what they're doing is part of the whole deal with the MHA and the city and all of the grant money and all of that stuff. Same way they took away the mills and all of that. They just got awarded, I think, funding to be able to do those over. So what I didn't realize was half of those buildings are already empty. They already moved them out.
I think there's more than 5 or 6. I think there's a whole group of buildings. I'm not sure if they're divided into Yale Acres and something else, but there's a big compound over there.
Yeah, they're half of them are empty. They're gonna bring them right down to the studs and rebuild them.
I think some were already done like that.
Well, they did all the solar. They worked on the infrastructure first all last year. They did all the solar over and all of that stuff, and now they're gonna actually remodel the buildings.
I believe.
Geothermal. And then what they're going to do is once those buildings are done, they're going to take the people that already live in the other buildings, move them over, and then redo those buildings again.
Yeah, they'll shuffle people around.
Yeah, they're going to have like a almost like a senior center has a what do you call it? Like a center, like a clubhouse. They'll have like a clubhouse there. They're going to have a whole bunch of. I think they're going to have a greenhouse there so people could grow things. They're going to make it like its own little community and really nice. And then I think they're actually going to put a power plant there, which is like for all the solar, so that way they could. They could kind of stick it to Eversource and get some money back for supplying.
You can never stick it to Eversource.
You kind of get credits for it anyway for all the housing.
But speaking about the housing in a center and being its own community, wasn't the old hospital planned to be something like that?
Yeah, well, that was going to be the Meriden Muse. Now I saw they changed the name to what was it? It was One Crown, or it was the address.
One King, I think.
One King Place.
Right.
And that's going to be for seniors. That's not a Meriden housing project.
No.
That's its own thing, its own developer.
Well, the city owned it, but I guess they maybe got a developer to kind of develop it.
Right. So that's going to be a senior development, and basically it's going to be an all-inclusive senior development. So they're going to have all your apartments in there for the seniors. They're going to have their little grocery store. They're going to have their little 5 and dime. They'll have their gift shop. Pretty much everything. I think they're even going to have a drugstore in there. So pretty much everything that a senior needs, right, without having to leave the property, which is really nice.
That sounds very cool. I'm just wondering if it's going to happen and materialize like, it's planned.
Well, they're working on it.
A lot of projects in Meriden are planned one way and they end up being something else.
Which brings me to phase 2 of the Meriden 2020 plan down at the Green. They had the city council meeting last week, and that was the big discussion, was the phase 2. So the phase 2, a lot of complaining. Well, and I'm kind of confused between all the different phases because I thought phase 2 was something different. Okay. But anyway, phase 1 was tearing down the mills and building those 3 or 4 new buildings that, Meriden Commons 1 is already open. And then I think there's like 2 or 3 new buildings that they're building right now. So it's like its own. It's really weird too, because now that the mills is gone and these buildings are going up, when you go down Pratt Street and you usually make a left on Mill where the blinking stop sign is, I keep missing it and I keep going the next one.
Yeah, and that loops around a little bit.
And it's weird. Like, it's unrecognizable. You don't know where you are.
Because you've never been there before.
So phase 2 apparently is going to be the new building where it's going to be on the corner of State and Mill, on the southeast corner where the amphitheater is.
Well, let me ask you this. Why is this a surprise? Because I remember when phase 1 was being worked on, that was the plan all along.
Oh, there were pictures of this going back 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Right.
So it's not a surprise. I think people just get used to the way things are. And now all of a sudden they're saying, well, why are they building a building on the green? Well, that was always part of the deal.
Got it.
And it's really a dead corner of the green. I mean, whenever they do concerts, there's plenty of room for people to watch the concerts, and even all the pop-up tents when they do the pop-up markets and stuff. That corner, there's never anything on. Now,
Right.
they did move the farmers market to that corner at the end of the season because they were working on Pratt Street. So they moved it over to the other corner, but it'll end up going back on Pratt. And actually, they plan on building on the Pratt Street side where where the bridge to nowhere is. On either side, they're going to build little buildings there. So one little building is supposed to be for the farmers market, so they could store their stuff. Another building is supposed to be for maintenance for the park.
Okay.
And then on the other side of the bridge, still on the Pratt Street side, they're supposed to have a strip mall of like coffee shop, breakfast shops.
So when that happens, we can't call it bridge to nowhere anymore.
Right, because it'll link the both sides together. Well, not only that, but the newest part that I didn't remember from the original idea is they're going to close Mill Street. Mill Street will no longer exist.
No, from the plan I saw, it was like half. They're going to loop it up weird way.
Yeah, well now...
Keep half of it and loop it up around the building.
Now I guess the plan is Mill Street will be gone. I think it's still going to be there, but not for cars. It's going to be for pedestrians, and it's going to be a lot smaller. But it's not going to be, because now the parking lot is going to be kind of right up against the amphitheater, but on the other side of the sidewalk. It's really weird. You got to go on Meriden 2020 plan and click on the green and future projects, and you'll see they have pictures of what it's going to look like. But everybody's all upset. Why are you building on the green? Well, that was part of the deal in the very beginning. And now they're going to extend the green where the Mills was. So that's actually going to go across Mill Street. And everywhere where the Mills was is now going to be more green. They're going to have the brook growing through it. And I got breaking news.
What is it?
Breaking news.
From what I hear, they're going to have some type of attraction for the kids. So they're supposed to have another bridge, but it's not going to be like the big one. It's supposed to be a small bridge and like a whole bunch of playscapes and jungle gyms and stuff, places where parents could actually bring their kids and have a good day out.
Great.
So there you go. Nobody knows about that yet. A kid attraction at the Meriden Green where the Mills used to be.
Well, it's in a floodplain because now people are going to cry about it. So
Well, yeah. I mean, people are going to cry about it anyway, but you know what? The place looks great.
yeah,
So I don't care.
I'm going to miss Mill Street because it was a great parking spot for events happening at
You
the
know
green.
what? And that brings up a good point because, you know, for this past summer and last summer, Mill Street was the place to park for anything going on at the amphitheater. And you're not going to have that anymore.
No.
So really the only place you have to park left is on State Street from the bridge up to Mill, where Mr. Taco Truck used to be, or still is. I'm not sure if they're still
You mean
there or
any
not.
other side of the street towards the tracks, right?
The other side of the street
That's
up
city owned?
That's a regular city street, but no, I think the parking lot next to it's like the community health center with the Walgreens in it. That parking lot there, I believe you can use, but don't quote me on that. I mean, I think a lot of people usually park there.
But I thought that belonged to the health center, and the other part of the parking was the railroad.
Yeah, I don't know. And I also don't know if the new parking garage, they didn't build any new parking garages,
Not yet.
right? So I'm not really sure where people are going to park, but God, that's crazy to say. Because I'm always the one saying there's plenty of parking downtown. Why is everybody crying? But believe it or not, for the amphitheater, I see that being somewhat of an issue, and I don't know whether they have plans for that or not.
Well, where did you see those plans? Are those plans available for everyone to look at?
Yeah, go on Meriden2020.com.
All right.
You could see all the past plans. You could see the future plans. You could see pretty much where they are now. They even have a schedule of dates when certain things are happening. I mean, it's been up there for years.
Yeah.
And they're doing it exactly as it is listed on there. Another thing a lot of people have been complaining about is the paved roads.
Oh, yeah, they're getting scarred.
scarred from the snow plows.
I think so.
And I think it's a whole bunch of Liberty Street, Murray Street, Murdoch Street, Paddock Street.
That's
There's a
all
whole
freshly paved, though. That's new.
Yeah, but from what I read in the paper, Allstate Materials, the company that got hired out of Massachusetts to pave it.
Why not
I guess-
local companies?
I don't know. I have a paving guy who lives right across from me. I'm sure he would love a city account.
Yeah, and we have La Rosa around there, too.
Well, La Rosa gets all the city accounts, don't they?
Might as well get one more.
Yeah. But apparently, well, from what Howard Weissman, the city engineer, was saying was that the pavement didn't have time to cure before that deep freeze when we were having the freeze quakes or the ice quakes or whatever. So I guess it didn't have time to cure the pavement. So when the plows came through, blah, 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 blah.
I see.
But the only thing I didn't agree, which I mean I understand that because even paving in front of the Silver City Ballroom, there was a certain time where they're not allowed to do any concrete or pavement past into November.
Why?
And because it's too cold and it
I
doesn't cure the right way. And we had that really warm stretch that 1 week, and they were like, "Okay, we'll do your sidewalk," which was great. And that's how come in front of the ballroom where the clock is. It's still pavement there because it's just too cold, and they know that they can't do it until the weather gets just right.
So they're going to replace that with concrete then?
Yeah, and then eventually it'll be all concrete. But I guess that's what happened with the roads that got paved. And the only thing I didn't agree with was in the paper, they were calling it a cosmetic issue.
No.
And you know what? I understand if there's a crack going across the street, you're not going to notice it. But these, like from the pictures, and I drove down it the other day, they're like the bumps that they put on the side of the road so when you fall asleep, if
Rumble
you veer
strips?
off, they're like the rumble strips. I mean, they look like it. They feel like it when you drive over it. So I don't really agree that it's a cosmetic issue. But either way, the paving company is going to eat the cost and come back and redo it.
I hope so. Because, once you get the scarring or whatever you want to call it, that's just going to accelerate the deterioration of the pavement.
Yeah, but again, you got people complaining. You know, taxpayers' money paved our street. You know what? They haven't paved my street in, I don't know. I mean, it's probably 20 years.
Your shit's pretty horrible.
It's probably 20 years, and there's many roads throughout Meriden. And again, in Jersey, my hometown, every 10 years, they pave every street in the town.
Good.
Every 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a couple here, a couple there, or whatever.
But that's a long-term plan. So in the city, when the administration turns over fast, they'll push the buck down the road.
Yeah, definitely, until the next administration gets it.
Yeah, that's their problem.
You know what they keep pushing the buck around on? And I would love to have more information on the Agusta Curtis Cultural Center.
Oh, that place.
Dirty laundry.
And I don't know if you read the article.
I did.
It wasn't like a year ago? There was issues with like not letting them know where the money's coming from, where's it going, or
It was towards the end of last year.
yeah. Well, I mean, my issue is so you got the Agusta Cultural Center, right? And it used to be the library, and from what people were saying on, we were from Meriden. I mean, it was a beautiful library that everybody loved going to when they were little. I didn't get the chance to be able to do that, but it is really a cool looking building. And now they're saying it's a cultural center, but I don't really agree with that.
Yeah,
It's really a rental hall.
it is.
Because for a cultural center, you would need some type of culture going on. Now, I do know that they do have some bands play. Concert with Causes, Lisa, she uses it a lot for.
But those are all more like a private event rather than cultural
more
events. Right?
like fundraising events and stuff like that. And they did have, I think it was a year or two ago, they had some cool display there of it was like a visual art, digital, like there were a bunch of TVs with pictures of people on. It was something cultural. It was pretty cool. But I think the majority of their time spent open is birthday parties and renting the hall with folding chairs and tables.
But let me give you this fact, some numbers.
Oh, you got numbers?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. I want to give a little bit of background on it. So after it wasn't the library anymore and they built the new library,
Right.
the city owns this building, okay? But the city doesn't want to run this building as a rental hall.
Right.
So they come up with a board of directors or a council, if you will, that is in charge of running events at this thing, and it all goes through the YMCA.
Why?
Because the city doesn't want to run it. The YMCA wants to run it.
All right.
So my issue, from what I understand, and you hit me with numbers if you have them.
I will.
The city pays. There's no taxes on it because the city owns it, so there's no property taxes. The city pays the utilities, the electric bill, the gas bill, whatever they have, their oil. The YMCA gets to rent it out, and the YMCA gets to keep the money, the profit.
But this is what's interesting about the numbers. So in 2016, it cost $45,000 for utilities and upkeep, which city covered.
Okay.
In 2017, it was $50,000.
Okay.
But check this out. In 2018, from January to August, the center only generated $11,000.
Right. So in 8 months, they only made $11,000.
So it seems like
they
it's a
spent
big...
$50,000 in utilities. The city spent.
Right.
So how is that?
That's not profitable venture.
Well, it's not that, but okay, here, I own the Silver City Ballroom. Okay. My landlord is a nonprofit, but because I'm a business, I'm responsible for the property taxes. So I'm renting out the ballroom. I'm paying my property taxes, which are like $6,000 a year. Plus I pay my personal property and all of that stuff. But whatever I make, I keep whatever money I put in, I get out of it.
Right.
I would love if the city owned my place of business, because then I would get my utilities for free.
And upkeep.
And I would not have to pay property taxes. That's a great deal. Of course, that great deal goes to the YMCA, another nonprofit.
But that raises another question about the restaurant at the golf course. It's a city-owned golf course.
Well,
and I wonder if the restaurant, do they pay taxes?
No, well, do
they pay rent?
The restaurant, it is a privately owned business on city property.
Right.
Okay. So I would assume if it works the same way as it does for me, I'm a privately owned business on a nonprofit property, so I'm now taxable. So I would think if things are the right way at the golf course, that restaurant has to pay property taxes for that building to the city. They should be.
Yeah.
And, whatever money they make, it goes to them. They're totally separate. They're supposed to be totally separate from the golf course, from the city-run and owned golf course.
Well, you said if things work the right way, but obviously by Agusta Curtis example, they might not be running the right way. Right,
but I mean, everybody, all the taxpayers are all complaining about all the money spent. How did the taxpayers feel about spending $50,000 for utilities on a building that the YMCA is able to profit from?
We just need more transparency about the culture center and about the other ventures like golf course.
I think that article that you're referencing was, I think Castro was the one that was asking to see the books they're supposed to show at the Augusta. They're supposed to show their quarterly financials.
Yes.
Because they do split the profit. I believe the YMCA gets a percentage and the city gets a percentage, but it's such a tiny.
It's not the city that gets the percentage. It's the YMCA and the committee.
Oh, the committee gets okay. So the YMCA gets like 80% and like 20% goes to the committee that runs like the Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But of course, they only made $11,000 in 8 months. Right. So what is that? That doesn't even come close to
even if
covering.
The whole thing went to the city, it's still a big loss.
I would love. Well, anyway, Castro was looking into it, wanted to see the books, and I think Batista was the one that was saying, no, you don't have the right to.
Right.
And then she came out later and apologized and said, well, yeah, you do have a right to, but I don't know whether they ever got to see.
Right, that's already passed and we already forgotten about it. So that's what transparency.
Well, freedom of information.
Yeah, but you got to jump through hoops to get all that stuff.
Well, the Record Journal got the city on it for.
How long did it take Record Journal to get all that and the ruling in their favor?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's out there. All you got to do is ask about it. But
it's not as simple as going to the city hall, like, let me see this, and they'll let you show it.
Yeah.
If the council members can't have access to it, what makes you think that a regular person can go in and get access to it?
Well, I think, wouldn't it be more beneficial for the city to unload the Agusta Cultural Center on a business that actually wants to run a business out of there? Now they're getting property taxes from it, and they're not spending $50,000 in utilities.
Correct.
So sell that baby.
Sell it,
and you could make it. You could declare it a National Historic Monument or whatever. You could, not a monument, but you know what I mean. It's not that big, but make it so they can't touch it, physically change the appearance of it or anything else.
Right.
And could you imagine a lunch place in there? or some type of, I mean, especially with City Hall right across the street.
Yeah.
That's like an ideal lunch place. Go there to have a lunch meeting or something else.
Yeah.
But instead, the YMCA gets to control it and run it. And
For 20 years.
for 20 years. So,
Dollar.
a
dollar
dollar.
lease.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. The Y pays $1 a month, is it, or
A year.
A year. The Y pays $1 a year to the city to rent the Augusta Cultural Center.
With no expenses associated with utilities or
What
upkeep.
a great deal! I think we should start at Silver City Ballroom. We should start our own religion and become a nonprofit.
Yeah.
I think that's the way around it.
Cool.
We'll be sun worshippers.
Yeah.
My mom has been complaining so much. Marcal toilet paper.
What happened? What happened to the toilet paper?
Well, the Marcal building in Jersey
So the factory.
caught fire, and it burnt down last week.
There was a lot of paper in there, probably.
Well, everybody was upset in Jersey because it was a real iconic neon sign. Everybody always remembers seeing the sign when you're on Route 80, like coming over the George Washington Bridge. You always saw the Marcal sign in neon.
But that's the same in Meriden. You ever go to like, if you're from Meriden,
Yeah.
and they post all those cool pictures from
Yeah.
back then. Everyone like reminisces about it.
Yeah, but this is it's the only place where they made Marcal. So it was toilet paper, it was paper towels, whatever. So my mom's complaining because I use Marcal at my house here in Meriden.
Yeah.
And she says that she always brings her own toilet paper with her.
A little
I'm like,
piece of
"Mom,
New Jersey.
Why are you bringing your toilet paper with you?" She goes, "Because I don't like yours. The Marcal, it's like paper. It hurts. It's thin."
But it works.
Well, because it's cheap, and then that's why I use it.
Yeah.
So my mom's finally not going to complain anymore, because I would think that once all the Marcal stock is gone, that would be it. You know,
We'll find out.
Till
But
they-
things change. Things, we like to reminisce about old stuff. But you know what? Time to develop. Time to move forward.
Yeah, but people don't like change, especially when it comes to their butthole.
Especially
and the
older
poop.
people.
No, you don't change stuff like that. You find something that works and you stick with it.
Yeah.
You don't change that. It's almost like bathtubs. Like I don't see a reason for a bathtub. I would rather have a shower in my
Right.
house. Do you have a bathtub or a shower?
Shower.
Or yeah, but I mean, who takes baths?
But it's if you have a baby or kids, the bath.
Yes, and if you have a dog, the
Right.
bathtub is good.
Yeah.
And if you have hemorrhoids, the bathtub is good.
Why?
Well, because you got to soak your hemorrhoids.
Oh, okay.
Well, not me, my friend. Asking for a friend.
Right.
No, but one of my friends, she's got really bad hemorrhoids, and they're like bleeding and stuff. And she's got a shower, and she's like, "I really need to soak my hemorrhoids."
What does soaking your hemorrhoids will do?
I don't know, but we're telling her that she's growing testicles. She just doesn't realize it, but she says no, they're hemorrhoids. And
Ew.
so I told her, "Why don't you go buy a baby pool?" And she did. She bought a baby pool, and she sat it in her shower, so now she could fill it up and sit in it and soak her hemorrhoids.
Oh, jeez.
And now I'm gonna get a call complaining, "Why are you talking about that?" But
We didn't mention Amy's name.
no, no, we didn't mention Amy's name, so she'll be okay way with it. You were talking about Bob. You were talking about the history pictures and stuff on Bob Whitworth. Bob Whitworth, I think
Yeah,
that's his
I know.
name.
Yep.
He's been posting some really amazing pictures on, you're from Meriden, of all the architectural buildings and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people have some great pictures. I think they're family albums or whatever they posted. It's great to look at them.
Yeah, and he's getting annoyed because he's like the only one posting. He's like, "Come on, where is everybody else?"
Yeah.
But I love looking at like they had the old duck pin bowling that was on Grove Street.
Really?
They had the old theater that was on Main Street and Colony. They have like all those old pictures and just really cool pictures.
Did you see that thread about having animals at the park?
Oh yeah,
At the Upper Park?
they had animal, they had goats and stuff. At
Some
Upper
kind of
Park.
like European little deers and stuff.
Yeah. I that's one of my favorite sites on Facebook because I love history and I love seeing the way Meriden used to look. I mean, I love the way Meriden looks now. It's
transforming.
really getting there. It's just different.
Yeah.
It's not the way it was.
Yeah.
The post of the week this week,
Post of the week.
Susan Nimzik.
Ooh.
They say every village has an idiot. My village must be where they keep the spares. Sounds like South Meriden.
Yeah, the spares must be coyotes because there have been a lot of sightings of those around there.
I know. I have seen that. Coyotes, huh?
Yeah, but people said, don't worry about it. They've been there forever.
Yeah, they're just feed them.
They're just big dogs.
Give them a biscuit.
Yeah, they keep the neighborhood clean. Yeah.
What else? Anything else? Oh, we got something really big coming up. Well, I'm going to save it for the next podcast. But
all right.
It has to do with the arts and downtown and kind of a grassroots effort to get things going down here.
All right.
So,
is it going to be bad or is it going to be good?
No, it's going to be really good. We'll do
good news.
We'll do a positive podcast about Meriden.
Yay.
All right. So we'll see you on the next one. You want to be a sponsor, just like Olympus Diner, go check out their chowder on Fridays. Their clam chowder is amazing on East Main Street in Meriden, Olympus Diner. Be a sponsor.
Go there after we eat the chowder.
Yeah. Don't go like no, they do run out. If you go like around 3 or 4, sometimes they're just about done.
Yeah, go around 2ish when the whole lunch crowd goes away.
Yeah. Be a sponsor. dirtylaundryct@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at
Click
Dirty
like.
Laundry CT. Click like.
Subscribe.
And we're gonna put out another podcast like the next day or so. I want it before Monday because something big's gonna happen Monday, and we have to talk about what's gonna happen from that. So we'll let you know.
Something big on Monday.
Yeah, something big on Monday.
Is it about Kevin Scarpati being on 1080 WTIC?
No.
In the morning?
No.
From 5:30 to 9?
What, on Monday?
Mm-hmm.
I'll see if I can get that on my radio.
Yeah.
And we'll give a listen.